Today, let's talk about a car that's so much more than just a car. It's a bold statement, and it's shaking up the entire electric vehicle game. This is the Citroën ë-C3, and believe me, it's here to challenge everything we thought we knew about what an EV should be.
To really get why this car is such a big deal, we have to start with a question that's been hanging over the EV revolution for years. A really simple one. Are electric cars only for the rich? And let's be honest, for the longest time, the answer for most of us was a pretty clear yes. The single biggest roadblock for the average family was the price tag. It just kept EVs in this exclusive club, a premium product that was cool to look at, but not to own.
So what you ended up with was a market full of these fancy, high-end models. Great cars, for sure, but totally out of reach for, most regular people.
And look, this wasn't just in our heads. The industry itself was telling us this. The whole story was that an electric car was either, and I'm quoting here, a toy for the rich or a compromise for the few. So basically, a cool gadget for someone with tons of cash or a weird little car you kinda had to settle for.
But then, Citroën came along and just decided to rip up that script. They didn't just roll out another new car. No, they launched something people are calling a manifesto on wheels.
A manifesto on wheels? What does that even mean? Well, it means this car was built for a reason, bigger than just getting from A to B. It was a very intentional, almost political move to finally make electric cars a real, viable choice for millions of families, the very people who've been locked out of the market until now.
And this is the number that changes everything. 23,900 euros. And get this, in a lot of places that price drops below 20 grand once you factor in government incentives. All of a sudden, you've got an electric car that's priced to compete head-to-head with a regular gas car. That, right there, is the game changer.
So the big question is, how on earth did they do it? How'd they get the price that low? Well, it all comes down to a simple but brilliant idea: substance over frills. Instead of chasing flashy specs that look good on paper, they focused on what people actually need.
And this philosophy really boils down to three key things. First up, comfort. And we're talking legendary comfort. The car has this special suspension that basically makes bumps disappear. Second, practical range. 320 kilometers, or about 198 miles. It's what they call the perfect dose for your daily drive without needing a giant, heavy, and expensive battery. And finally, number 3, smart charging. You can juice it up to 80% in just 26 minutes. Pretty slick.
Now, the secret sauce behind all of this is something called an LFP battery. Don't worry, you don't need a science degree for this. All you need to know is that this type of battery is cheaper to make and it lasts longer. And that is absolutely crucial if you're going to build an affordable EV that people can rely on for years to come.
And they made a bunch of other really smart choices too. They simplified the whole design using about 30% fewer parts. They ditched the old-school dashboard screen for a clean head-up display. They decided a comfy, relaxed ride was way more important than crazy acceleration. And maybe the most impressive part, they did all of this while designing and building the car right there in Europe.
Okay, so that's the big plan. It sounds great on paper, right? But the real question is it actually working? Are people buying it? Well, the numbers, they don't lie.
Just look at these figures from April 2025. The market was actually down. Big competitors like the Dacia Sandero and Peugeot 208, their sales were dropping. But the new C3, it was up 7%. That is a huge deal in a struggling market. But here's the kicker. Of all those new C3s they sold, a full 25%, 1 in every 4, was the all-electric model. Think about that for a second. For a brand new EV, that's an incredible start. It's proof that people have been waiting for a car just like this one.
And what about its biggest rival, the new Renault R5? Well, it's a different story. The R5 is selling like crazy, but mostly in its home country, France. Over 40% of its sales are right there. The ë-C3, though, its sales are spread out way more evenly across Europe, which really suggests it has a much broader, more universal appeal.
Okay, but let's be real. When you shake things up this much, you're gonna get some pushback. So let's dive into some of the common complaints and see if they actually hold up.
All right, first up, you hear this one a lot. The plastics feel cheap, or they're too hard. And yeah, they're not soft and squishy. But that's the whole point. This isn't trying to be a $100,000 luxury car. It's an economy car, built to last. The goal was durability and low cost, not a fancy plush dashboard. It's built for the job.
Okay, criticism number 2. Wait, the basic model doesn't even have a main screen? And you can see why people would think that's a crazy thing to leave out in a modern car.
But hold on, because the solution is actually brilliant. Instead of a screen, it has a built-in holder for your smartphone. You just use your phone as the car's brain. Why is that so smart? 1, it saves a ton of money. And 2, and this is huge, you're not stuck with some clunky, outdated car software in a few years. Your phone is always up to date.
And the last big one, the speed. Critics say the top speed is only 132 kilometers an hour. That's about 82 miles per hour. And yeah, for a performance junkie, that might sound a little slow. But honestly, I love the analogy someone used for this. That's like complaining your toaster doesn't make coffee. It completely misses the point. This is a car for city driving and daily commutes. It was never ever meant to be a race car. So when you put it all together, what's the bottom line? The Citroën ë-C3 has basically kicked the door wide open for affordable electric cars in Europe. It's proven that this substance over frills idea isn't just a nice thought, it's a winning strategy. They succeeded because they focused on what normal, pragmatic people actually want. It's not just another new model, it's a whole new playbook for the entire car industry.
And that leaves us with one last really exciting thought. Remember those great sales numbers? That's just for the gas and the all-electric versions. There's a hybrid model coming soon, which is often the sweet spot for a ton of buyers. So at that final piece of the puzzle on the way, you have to wonder, could this car go from being a game changer to becoming the #1 best-selling car in all of Europe? We'll have to wait and see, but it is looking like a real possibility.